So what is Yule? Yule is also known as midwinter, and it comes from the old names for Odin that I'm not sure how to pronounce, and he is seen as the god of the wild hunt as well as the god of Yule. This is celebrated starting on the day of the winter solstice, and the celebrations continue for 12 days. These normally start on December 21st and end on January 1st. An important word to know is Desir. These are our female ancestors, or the All-Mother. And then another important word that you'll be needing to know is Squaseel, and this word has multiple meanings. The first of which is actually possibly where Christmas caroling evolved from, and it was an act where the villagers would go through the village and sing and shout to drive away any spirits that could hurt their crops for the coming year. Another meaning of the word wassail was that it was a popular Yuletide drink made of spiced cider and brandy, and it is possibly from that drink that it also became known as the celebrating that is done on the last night of Yule, where we feast and drink said cider. Although Yule is a very old holiday and is a celebration that lasts for 12 days, there's not a lot of records on what you should do on each of these 12 days, although there are a few commonalities. The first night is almost always Mother's Night, which is the night to honor the Desir, or our female ancestors. This can be done in a few different ways. Some common ways are providing offerings. A lot of people like to use cookies. In other cases, you can light a candle from dusk until dawn, and then when it's put out in the next morning, you thank the Desir for watching over us during the longest night of the year. And another way that a lot of families choose to honor these ancestors is by telling stories of their lives throughout the day, or throughout the night. The last night of Yule is reserved for wassailing, or the caroling, and it is also reserved for the feasting and celebration that happens at the end of Yule. And the wassail drink, which is a spiced cider, is actually also drank on this night. In some cases, it is also considered oath night, where some practitioners will choose to reserve this night to make oaths between themselves and the gods, and those oaths are considered promises that are made between you, the ancestors, and gods, and have to be honored in the following year. Next night that is important during the Yuletide festivities is Gifting Day, or Gifting Night. This can be celebrated either during the day or the night, but it is exactly what it sounds like. It is when all the gifts for Yule are typically given. I like to line up Gifting Day with Christmas Day because I have a lot of relatives that celebrate Christmas, and although Christmas is not the holiday that I myself celebrate religiously, I like to be around my family for the tradition aspect. So on Christmas, I make it my Gifting Day as well. Symbols of Yule include the Yule log, which historically was an entire tree that was meant to be burned for 12 days. Its sacred plants of Yule include holly, oak, mistletoe, ivy, birch, and yew. The holly is symbolic of protection, as well as the Holly King in some traditions, which is one of the dual aspects of the horned god. The oak is symbolic of endurance and power, as well as victory and triumph. And in the same tradition that follows the belief of the Holly King, there is also an Oak King that takes over for its healing powers and its ability to ward off evil spirits. It was also a symbol of peacemaking, particularly at the end of a feud, as well as prosperity and fertility. Beyond that, with ivy, that is healing, protection, cooperation, and also to bind lovers. It is also symbolic of fidelity and loyalty, which makes sense. And this is in large part because it lives on after its host plant dies. Birch is another symbol of rebirth and regeneration, as well as creativity, fertility, healing, and protection. It is also the first plant to grow back when the forest burns, and it is the first month in the Celtic tree calendar. Yew, the last of the sacred plants, is symbolic of immortality and longevity, and it is representative of access to a world beyond our own, and the acceptance of change, as well as the final day of the solar year. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed it. I definitely did. I look forward to making some more of these videos in the future, and stay tuned to watch a little time-lapse video of a drawing I did for you. Thanks, guys.